So something came up in my mind and I really want to talk to you about it. Over 10 years ago, I was institutionalized for paranoia schizophrenia. It was for like 2 weeks, and what led up to this moment was years of ignoring my body time after time after time, ignoring every signal my body gave me to pay attention to my needs, provide myself my needs, ignoring it so many times that my body had no other choice, no other tools, no other way of signaling to me that, hey, we need your attention here. We need your energy here, your time and your effort pointed in this direction. It had no other choice other than to fuck with my mind. So the way it did that was by like hallucinations and delusions. I would, this felt like a few days, but I don't really remember how long it was, to be honest with you. Yeah, of just feeling like, seeing random things. Anyway, this isn't really what I wanted to talk about. Basically, I'll go into the detail of like how that whole experience actually was. But it turned out to be the biggest blessing of my life because it really made everything so very salient and very clear for me. All my signals, all the ways that my body was getting my attention, all the things that I didn't have, like a sense of self, that at least that I was conscious of. I felt like, with hindsight, that I didn't have an agency over my life. I was never the main character of my life. I was never the one that came first in my mind, in my heart. I was never the one I thought about. I was never the center of my own life. That could be for so many things, right? The way we're raised, the culture that we're brought up in, me being a woman in this world, so many reasons. But at the end of the day, at this point, I did not have any kind of responsibility over the life that I was living and leading. And that led me to so many different things, right? One, being hospitalized. And then just a series of like healing modalities, seeking mentorship, seeking community, seeking mirrors to me so that I can know how to look inside and find me and figure out what I'm made up of and what I'm not made up of. A lot of that journey was very much so me figuring out what I was not made up of, so that I can land on the pieces of me that just fit so nice and snug and cozy and that felt so real and organic to me. And so a lot of that came from people I met, groups that I was part of, women that I, looked up to. A lot of it started on the internet. A lot of it started on Instagram for me, is following certain accounts, building this life that I desired to have around me, to have surrounding me online. Yeah. And the main point of this is that, like, eventually I would get the opportunities to like ask people um, this question that's always just been on my heart. Like, how are you doing this though? Like, where did you start? How do you do this every day? And this being like being who you are, carrying what you carry, on the mission that you're on. How are you on this journey and you know it so well and you're doing it so every day? And I don't know if any of this is making any sense, but I was very much fixated on like, how do you know that, how do you know what to do? And how do you know that what you're doing is the right thing, the right direction, good for you? Um, what are you doing actually? Like, I was very much a, like wanting to know what the practical things were, you know? Like, what do you focus on? What do you think about? How do you feel every day? From morning to middle to night, and then the next day. On the week level, on the month level, on the, well, I don't know, like quarter level, and on the year level, and then expand that even more. Like, what does it actually look like? How does it feel? I was so like, please break it down for me. I love learning. I'm a student for sure. And so but I'm the type that like studied in a way where I would make my own study guide. And if a nigga gave me a study guide, I would fill that bitch out, very detailed. And then like extract all the things that I would need. You know what I mean? And then learn it and repeat it and rehearse it in the way that made sense to me so that when the test came, I know exactly what to do. It's like I rehearsed it. I remembered it. So I was like asking these questions to these women, to these people who to me looked like they figured it out. And I was just like, tell me, tell me, um, now that you're here in front of me, like, tell me what it looks like, what it feels like. And um, there was two instances where I asked this type of question, right? And there was this like look that reflected back to me like, I don't know how to explain this. It's so weird. Um, Reflected back to me like, how do I explain this without being, um, anyway, okay. It's two things. I don't mean any kind of disrespect when I say any of this, okay? It just really like humanized people for me. Like this thing, it's like looking at celebrities or billionaires or these like this, or like, uh, astronauts or, these like over very extraordinary extremes of human, and thinking like it's feeling like it's so far away from you who's also a human. And but you think that because it's very hard to relate to that human, because I don't really know what the fuck you've created something in your mind about them. I have for sure. And it's as if their daily life, their insides, their emotions, their humanness wasn't also involved in like also carried them to where they are. The astronaut, the billionaire, the mega celebrity, fill in the blank there, whoever you think is this so far away place that it seems so out of like reach because you can't seem to see how it reflects in your life um, today, right now, as the human that you are. And so for me, when I had like an example of these humans in front of me, and I was able to ask him this question of like, how, what does it look like? How do you do it? Tell me. And I was asking in such an earnest way because I want to study. I want to learn. I want to know how it's done. Cuz I want it. I want it and I want to apply it to my life. So there was this look on their face like it was like almost like don't you see that I am a human just as you? Like I'm a human just like you. It was almost like I'm no different from how you think you are right now. Like you think you aren't in me. Like this version of you now who thinks that shit is so far away, you think that doesn't currently exist within me? They had that look in their face, and that was like what it like felt like they were saying to me, but they weren't really saying that. It was like every time I asked that question, they just looked like they didn't know how to even answer that. Um, but the look on their face basically said to me, like, who you think you are right now is in me today. Today, as the celebrity, as the astronaut, as the billionaire. That is in me currently. So, yeah, it blew my mind. It blew my mind because anyway, this moment right now really feels like I've let you down here. I've like brought you here, and I've let you down in this reveal, right? But what was incredible about that is that every day looks like exactly how you want it to look like. The week will look like a I fucking hate this word. Oh God, compilation. Anyway, quick tangent, right? The word compile is in compilation, but we don't say compilation. We say compilation. Anyway, so your week will look like a compilation of your days. So how you spend your days will be how your week will be. How you spend your week will be how your month will be, and so forth and so on. And so these tiny days in the microscopic version of your life, one day in your life, right? How do you want to spend it? Because like the version of me who was hospitalized is still here, right? The version of me who was in an institution for about a week, maybe about 2 weeks, maybe, and who was diagnosed with having an episode of paranoia schizophrenia and had to be on medication to get my fucking brain chemistry back to its rightful place so that I can be like me again. That version of me is still here. And so the way I spend my day really can dictate which version of me is manifesting by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the year. I could be an astronaut, I could be a mega celebrity, or I could be a billionaire. Or I could be the person who was also institutionalized. You really have to be so meticulous on the day level, but also have the mindset to know that when you zoom out and look at all of it, I personally want to be proud of the version of me who showed up that year, you know? So on the day level, it really matters, because on the week level, I want to feel that sense of pride in myself. So that on the month level, I can feel a sense of pride in myself. So that on the year level, I can feel like, fuck, I got to be a version of me I've been dying to meet, who was always here the whole time. So it almost even made those people in my mind, those people who I've asked those questions to, it made them even more incredible, because they're making these choices every day and being the person that they've been wanting to be every day, so that they can see that person and be proud of themselves every week, every month, and so forth and so on. So, like, it's just, it makes me feel very powerful. I hope it has empowered you, because you have so much agency and choice that you can make today, right now, tomorrow. If today is a lot, do it tomorrow. If it's a stacked week, do it next week. Because any little bit helps. Because when you look back and zoom out, those little things stack up, and they're going to create something so magnificent and something that you're going to be so proud of. And you're going to be like, fuck, I did that. Fuck, that was me. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's it.